This is your dad's face every time he sees you, and this is the face y'all make when you gotta rely on your right hand after being single all your life. Luckily for this guy though, he hit the jackpot and found a cheat code. So now bro calls himself Chad while going after every girl he lays his eyes on, including the girl of his dreams. All he has to do now is to just basically look at them, and the rest is history as he whips out his galactic sword, ready to destroy her planet Venus. Now in prime position to activate his domain expansion on his first ever target, we find out this sussy baker's name is Mango, exactly like the vegetable. He's a washed-up baseball player, so he's basically a waterboy bench warmer now, and his life has turned upside down after his parents suddenly passed away less than 2 years ago. However, while overseas in America for training camp, he accidentally got lost after running away from a bunch of American neckbeards. Eventually, he lost the neckbeards and conveniently ended up stumbling upon a very old baseball bat at a random abandoned farmhouse. Seconds after touching the baseball bat, out came a genie laughing like a maniac who's busy shouting out loud about how nice it feels to finally able to let out some gas after being stuck inside for so long. And since this is a no Disney movie about Aladdin, Mango ends up with a racist ghost that looks like the Walmart version of John Cena, and it happens to be super racist too. So now Mango is stuck with a spiritual being that keeps calling him a monkey, which no one else can see. But he's also super annoying as it keeps trying to make a contract with him to unleash his powers. Now me personally, I'd be quick to make a wish or to craft a contract with the ghost, but for some reason, our homie decides to do nothing at all and act as if nothing peculiar has happened to him. Even with his bench warmer spot on the line, he just trudges on like a depresso SO, even though he could change his entire life within the snap of his fingers. Luckily for him though, the Fire Nation attack as he gets unsuspectingly ganked at practice by an 11 out of 10, looking a lot like trouble. Her name is Choi Hyuna, a superstar volleyball player at the same university athletics team as his, who also happens to be his first ever love in elementary school, so you already know this guy has been crushing on her super hard. Anyways, Mango's heart gets shattered when Hyuna came over just to call him a loser for not being on the field, and for also not having any mythical fruits and blocks fruits. Regardless, our bro doesn't even care, he just got made fun of by his only crush, since this simp is just super happy that Hyuna finally came over and acknowledged his existence, so it's a win in his book. Fast forward to a couple hours later, Mango decides to take matters into his own hands after getting banished from his training sessions for being an absolute donkey, so he starts to practice an abandoned shed. But this guy is so bad at baseball now that even the ghost began to cosplay what's it like to spectate your bronze friend that's last alive trying to 1 versus 5. Eventually, he runs back to his team's training field when he hears his coach angrily yelling his name a mile away since it's time for the water boy to clean up before everyone heads back home. To make matters worse, the coach makes the first years on the team watch Mango clean up all by himself, while actively stopping anyone from trying to help him out. Now utterly ridiculed and humiliated in front of the team, the only thing bro can do is act like a beta, but the ghost urges him to stop being one as he mentions it's time to finally get a grip on his life. Spoiler alert though, Mango didn't do anything to stand up for himself like a real beta and proceeds to put away all the training gear after cleaning up. But just as he makes his way to the closest equipment room, he stumbles upon Hyuna again, who looks like her personality has increased quite a bit depending on the angle, and she even happens to still be in uniform. Although she called him a loser earlier, she gets super angry at him and pushes past him when she tries to flirt with him. But Mango ends up fumbling the bag for not getting the hint. This dude fumbled the bag so hard that even the ghost had to come out to call Mango the dumbest bag of bricks he's ever seen as he explains to him what exactly he missed out on. Of course, bro argues with the ghost whilst totally still in absolute denial. So he goes back inside only to find his phone still recording from his practice swings an hour earlier. However, as he looks over the hour-long footage, his banana tree instantly sprouts from down under when he discovers Hyuna in his video, and let's just say his mind is about to be blown from what he has discovered. It's then revealed that the reason Hyuna was so frustrated with him earlier is because he couldn't help her let off some steam as he catches her on video going choo-choo by herself without anyone else around the equipment room. Mango then begins to shake as he keeps replaying the video over and over again, unable to believe he was able to capture such a sussy moment by total accident. Now that bro is watching Hyuna with what seems like invisible potions used on the entirety of her clothing, the ghost mentions how he was right, and this is proof that Mango fumbled the bag harder than James Harden. But when the two rewatch the footage with sound, our homie begins to cry while the ghost stayed absolutely still when they realized Hyuna was yelling out the name Wonho. Eventually, the ghost couldn't stop himself from hysterically laughing when he saw Mango bawling his eyes out while bro had the audacity to also cry using his banana tree while watching Hyuna, if you get my drift. After erupting his volcano for his science experiment while watching Hyuna, bro walks back out with his head totally down in shame as he, nor I, cannot believe he just right-handed it to his crush, while his crush was busy thinking of someone else. To add insult to injury, Mango still cannot get over the fact that Hyuna would choose someone with a smaller banana tree plantation than he has, so he's probably still in denial since how else would he know unless he's a supreme sussy baka. Nevertheless, the ghost is tired of Mango bawling his eyes out the entire day, so he steps in to try and cheer him up, but he still calls him a monkey anyways, whilst ordering him to stop being a backup bench warmer since no girl wants to bang someone coming in last. Suddenly, a burst of energy flows through the ghost, allowing him to get bigger, where he then takes the opportunity to convince Mango to make a contract with him that will allow him to get all the girls he wants as he can turn him into a superstar baseball player. But in return for giving him crazy baseball powers, the ghost wants him to emotionally link together when Mango does some rice cake smashing with all the 11 out of 10s, allowing the ghost what it feels like to finally give freedom to his old hot dog again. Now that deal doesn't sound too bad. Mango just has to share the feeling of doing some rice cake smashing, so he's quick to agree to the conditions as he wants to get revenge on Hyuna and everyone else that has treated him like absolute trash all these years. And so from this day on, these two are about to deal a whole new meaning to best friends as they are about to tag team their way to sussy Olympic victory. Fast forward to the next morning, Mango decides to go through with the plan of switching his position in baseball from shortstop to second base as advised by the ghost, since the ghost turns out to be an old school baseball player from back in the day, so he's basically a mega boomer. The coach is quick to approve his request as he thinks Mango is just going to bomb out from his new position. So right before Mango is dismissed, they get interrupted by the coach's wife. But since the ghost is American, he gets super shocked, unlike Mango, that a bombshell like the wife that just walked in with large badonkadonks would somehow end up with a raisin-looking old ugly man. Rumor has it that the reason why the coach's wife suddenly quit from tennis, even though she was a superstar tennis player, was because her large blue eyes white dragon was dragging her down. Now, speaking of those giant twin dragons, the wife takes note of Mango, who's busy showing her some respect since we all know John Cena right now is busy staring at some glorious personalities right in front of him. Nonetheless, after Mango introduces himself to the wife, she introduces herself back as Hyjin before quickly ignoring him as she sets up in a very sussy position right in front of Mango, busy asking the coach to come back home as she needs help with a brand new fridge delivery. Unfortunately for her though, her husband refuses to leave the training grounds to help her out, causing Hyjin to get disappointed with him, so she tries to compromise by asking that he could at least send one of his players out to help her in his stead. Originally, the coach wasn't going to send anyone out as it's a training day, until he remembered that Mango was still in the room, so our boy ends up getting stuck missing training for another day, but it looks like he might actually get some prime opportunity to train something else. Now sensing the prime opportunity for Mango to try and Willie the Wonka of the wife at his coach's own house, Mr. Ghost tries his best to get Mango to not blow this opportunity, all pun intended. And so just like that, the sussy turntables seem to be turning already, even with the contract signed less than a day ago, as the wife shoots Mango with a very subtle direct eye contact. Fast forward a couple hours later, Mango gets dragged to a very posh apartment complex where he ends up lifting your typical Samsung fridge inside his coach's house, while Hyjin shows him where to put down the Wi-Fi based fridge. As he slowly moves the new appliance to the perfect spot Hyjin wants it at, she starts to give Mango more sussy looks whilst also telling him to stop calling her ma'am as she'd rather be called mommy, Nuna. Eventually, Mango is able to perfectly place the new fridge at the #1 spot in the house, so he's finally able to stop breaking his back, but it does seem like someone else's back is about to blow, and spoiler alert, it's not going to be Mango's. Nonetheless, after accidentally mentioning that his back hurts a little bit out loud, Hyjin begins to close the gap between the two while looking super worried that Mango might have hurt his back, so she mentions that a man's back is their entire life. However, as she takes a closer look, Mango tries to deactivate her sussy trap card, and reminds her that she's an athlete after all, so there's no way he would accidentally get injured while picking up such a small fridge. Mere seconds later, Mango can't believe his eyes when he sees Hyjin teleport to the bed nearby, who instantly falls for his moving fridge rees, so Hyjin shyly asks for him to massage her backs, and she apparently might have tweeted earlier after being all alone. It was at this very moment the ghost got super excited as he knows this is a signal for some intense rice cake destroying. So there's no way Mango could screw this up, so he urges him to step up his game, causing Mango to agree to do a little sport massage. Upon seeing Mango easily agree to her request, Hyjin flips on the bed to get ready for the massage while also flashing our boy with hope, as it turns out she's showing off some of her downtown curves hidden right behind her curbside pickup line. Elsewhere, back at the university training field, the coach yells out for Mango, but his players let him know that no one has seen the loser around, so it seems like something might be up, but he just attributes it to Mango being weak as heck compared to everyone else. Back at the apartment, things are heating up more than the Miami Heat as Hyjin keeps ordering our boy to keep going lower, to the point that bro is just straight up getting a handful of cake, and it seems like Hyjin's bakery is still in prime fit condition. Eventually, Mango takes note from watching a bunch of Hot Ones episode and ups the Scoville levels by going underneath Hyjin's armor, so she ends up telling him that it might be her turn to return the favor. With the Sussy Fire Nation now attacking, Mango lays down on the bed and shares his senses with the baseball goat, totally expecting to get lucky even though he still isn't a superstar yet. And what's even crazier is that this is his coach's bedroom. One blink later, Hyjin asks him to put on some invisible potions on his clothes as she thinks this would be better for the both of them, while giving him the come to mama look as it's time for her to cook. As such, Hyjin begins the Sussy Fire Nation advance on our boy Mango, where she's literally turning his mango more ripe by the second. Eventually, Hyjin flashes a grin and orders Mango to flip over more than Dr. Disrespect's age consent form, catching our boy by surprise as things are getting more sussy than he could have ever expected. Now faced with the tough decision to abide by her demands, bro decides to go YOLO mode since there's no way he's going to back out now after everything that's transpired. Surely enough, bro renames himself Chad as his mini Mango Bambi comes out in full force, sort of like he's showing off the chosen one, giving Hyjin a little surprise she never could have seen largely coming. Now remember how Mango has his entire full armor set taken off except the one piece protecting the mini Mango? Well, let's just say Hyjin's face got the full reveal mere seconds later. This guy's Prince Behemoth is so powerful that even the American Ghost got taken by surprise, unable to believe that someone like Mango was wielding such tremendous power that could ripple papayas from everywhere. Regardless, Hyjin starts polishing Mango's cataclysmic weapon from top to bottom, where she also suddenly reveals that she's had her eyes on him way before he entered college, so we might be getting Chris from Mr. Beast vibes here. Luckily, she meant after high school, so we are clear here. So she ends up giving a Mango a chance to back out before she starts grading the volcanic eruption his science experiment is about to experience out of 10. Of course, Mango refuses to leave the battlefield and allows Hyjin to go to town, where she is able to easily handle the tremendous sword that probably goes back all the way to King Arthur's time. Unfortunately for Mango though he's on the receiving end of Hyjin's sussy jutsu, he's unable to muster up enough strength to fight off her skillful attacks since she is a veteran at rice cake destroying. So with less than 30 seconds on the clock, Mango loses the duel versus Hyjin as she's able to claim all the energy oozing out of his soul, and let's just say Hyjin devoured it all like a vanilla milkshake. Now with time quickly fleeting, all Mango can do is apologize for his abysmal display in battle, as kings like him should do better when they wield otherworldly power in terms of size and power, but mostly size. However, just when we all thought it was Jover, Hyjin bamboozles everyone by proceeding to stage 2, even though Mango has not applied his rejuvenation skill on his mini Mango, so his reload timer is still on cooldown. Nonetheless, Hyjin whips out her patented skill of horseback riding, quietly revealing to Mango how she's a Hall of Famer at this skill, and some would even give her a gold medal if she was at the Paris Olympics. And so rest was history, with Hyjin taking charge of the entire ordeal since there's no way she would miss out the opportunity to make sure she still has it after being stuck with a wrinkly old coach all these years. But remember everyone, even in these family-friendly bouts of fighting, everyone has to make sure everything is safe, so Mango agrees to wrapping the sword in case things go wrong during their intense 1-versus-1 duels. Luckily, Hyjin is nice enough to cosplay a teacher at Anime Thon, so she teaches our boy how to properly protect his mini Mango, even going as far as doing it herself to make sure Mango is still at ease since it is his first battle. The two then quickly get into position as their rice cake war wages on, and within just one single thrust of his mighty sword, Mango's nether dragon makes Hyjin shout for joy as she never knew it was possible to engulf such a dragon. She even compares Mango's legendary dragon to those of the black dragon species, claiming that this specific dragon must be larger than those, which is totally unheard of in this era, so she tries her hardest to cling on as her life flashes before her. Eventually, their duel comes to a complete halt when Mango's dragon does the water-breathing technique after doing some epic domain expansions into Hyjin, causing the wife to almost pass out from the sheer force and power. After regaining consciousness, Hyjin flashes a smile and stares into Mango's soul, urging him to have confidence in himself since he's the biggest star she's ever seen and there's nothing she can even compare it to. Afterwards, Hyjin finds herself asking Mango why he never gets playing time anymore since he was supposed to be an up-and-coming superstar, to which Mango learns the coach is actually super rich and not bribable. With the revelation that the coach doesn't need money, bro tries to think hard as to why the coach randomly began benching him for no reason when he knows he isn't that bad. But then it finally hit him. His bad luck streak started happening when he realized Haejin kept mentioning him to her husband at the same time. A flashback then occurs to just a few years ago, where Haejin was seen hanging out with another star player at the university, and let's just say it looked like the two got too close for comfort. Back in the present, our boy finally pieced everything together and realized that him being unable to train and being sent to the bench is actually all because of Haejin. So after all of his hardships is due to this one woman, causing his ship to instantly harden like Malphite building Thornmail first item, making bro look like he wants to absolutely crush Haejin into orange pulp. However, bro snaps back to reality after figuring out the only reason that the star player a few years ago got sent packing was also because of Haejin. So he instead wants to get revenge another way. This time, his form of getting back at Haejin is in the very cultured way, deciding to go for round 2, but this time he's going to use all the techniques he found online from totally not sussy sites he watches all the time. As such, Mango proceeds to do another Minecraft speedrun to try and destroy Haejin by targeting her with his Ender Dragon using all his might, to which he starts summoning his inner demons to go out in full force. Now at full power, Mango continually destroys his opponent in front of him while remembering to keep a large grasp on his opponent's neck to make sure they really remember today, to be forever ingrained in her head as the humble beginning of a master destroyer. Mere seconds later, the sussy tables turn when Haejin's eyes rolls way beyond the back of her head, as if she's in a horror movie, unable to comprehend the destruction that is happening within the planet Venus. Eventually, Haejin finds herself totally defeated at the mercy of Master Mango, which she's unable to hold in the tremendous waterfall wanting to pour out due to the effects of our boy's seismic activities deep within Haejin's canyons. Nevertheless, the waterfall came pouring out like the Niagara Falls, causing Mango to wonder if Haejin's heart is still working, due to her absolutely passing out on the bed like a lifeless doll, hoping that he didn't actually accidentally add a kill on his scoreboard for the first time ever. Eventually, Haejin lets out a fart from the wrong area, so Mango is able to breathe a sigh of relief, knowing that Haejin is still alive and kicking, so he doesn't need to hide some bags anytime soon. Suddenly, a loud bang can be heard out of nowhere, causing Haejin to become wide awake since she was on the receiving end of the bang, and luckily it wasn't a flashbang but just a normal smack on some fresh oven bakeries. After the two both calm down for a second, our boy is eager to accept Haejin's invite for some more rice cake destroying in the future. But his face says it all, he's coming for some more destruction like Thay knows, since he needs revenge for what she's done to his career. Now the crazy part in all of this is that the round 2 is so fulfilling for Haejin that she ends up asking Mango if he's down for no wrappers on his weapon next time, to which he quickly accepts with no hesitation. But to make sure he's not making any dire mistake in accepting her offer, he stares into her soul and seriously asks Haejin if she's starting to feel like she wants to marry him instead of the rich old coach. However, Haejin turns around and scoffs while instantly laughing at Mango's face, claiming that she would never marry him since there's no reason for her to marry someone poor. So cue what an old wise man named Kanye once said, "Now I ain't saying she a gold digger, but she ain't messing with no broke Asian," thus giving Mango gold just to make sure he can keep scoring in Haejin's very perfect net. Fast forward to just a couple minutes later, the coach appears out of nowhere barreling through the front door, looking like he's about to catch our boy in the act with Miss Haejin, so it looks like it's game over for the two. However, after checking every corner like a true entry frag duelist, he doesn't smell anything off and doesn't see any sussy signs anywhere, nor does he find anyone inside his house other than his own wife. Bro then cools down for a second before asking Haejin what happened to Mango, but Haejin tells him that our boy left a while ago and she wants him to make sure Mango did his job correctly, since he apparently left as soon as he finished. She then begins talking about how she thinks Mango did a bad job, whilst making a point to her husband that Mango was very unsocial and very rude to her, allowing the coach to feel at ease. Now back at the university field, our boy is finally able to attend his very first practice this year in peace, still shocked that the coach would take away his opportunity to play just because his wife was hyping him up without him even knowing. Suddenly, Mr. Ghostman appears out of nowhere and ganks him, informing him that Haejin will probably stay with him if he becomes rich.